It's currently like 5:30, 6-ish in the morning, and we are about to be on our way to the beach because we want to watch the sunrise. We have arrived at Cocoa Beach, and at this time it was around 7 in the morning on January 2nd, 2022. We wanted to go on January 1st, but we didn't wake up on time. So there was only a couple of people at the beach, and of course, the usual fish downer, sad face. We decided to have a favorite day in the beginning of January to kind of set the year off on the right foot, and one of our favorite things to do is to go to the beach. So we chose to kind of see the sunrise and then do it at the beach. I've always wondered if these people ever find anything, but it seems like a good way to get your steps in the morning, so I'll give that to them. Whenever I am in nature and I'm like analyzing it, I'm always just like, what the? We live in this big ass rock, right? And there's just this thing in the middle of everything, lighting everything up. Like, I was so speechless looking at this, I had to use sign language. If the water was warmer, I definitely would have brought a bathing suit, but the water here was like negative 50 degrees. Just kidding, I googled it, it was like 65. I never been at the beach in Florida in the morning, so I was really happy to have like fresh morning beach air, aka crack, really. After an hour and a half or so, it was time to go home because our stomachs were grumbling like bad because we didn't eat anything before we came. Note, we had pizza in the car that we ordered the day before. We obviously ate that as soon as we got there. So we just got back from the beach. The rest of the day, I think right now we might take like a little nap because we honestly woke up so tired and we're still tired. We were still sleepy, so I think we're gonna take a nap and then we're gonna go and grab some lunch, which we're gonna go do hot pot. We haven't done hot pot in a long time. It's like one of our favorite things to go eat together. So we're gonna go hot pot for lunch, and then for dinner, I don't know what we're gonna do for dinner yet. Second favorite thing of the day is naps and snuggles. It's so pretty outside.
Hey babe, let me get the door for you.
We're finally on our way. This restaurant is around 45 minutes away from us, but the service and ingredients are always so good, so it's definitely worth the drive for us. While we waited for our broth, we began grabbing ingredients at pastas on the conveyor belt. Noodles and a shit ton of veggies are always a must. The waiter screwed up our order, but I got the mushroom broth and my boyfriend got the tomato broth. It is important to let your waiter know that you do not consume animals, so that way they don't give you a broth that has animal products. While we wait for our broth to boil, we're going to go ahead and make our dipping sauce. I always start with a base of sesame paste, not to be confused with tahini. Here I'm adding a sweet soy sauce and some sesame oil, garlic, scallion, and cilantro, of course. Then I top it off with some chili oil because although I'm mostly a spice wuss, I do like a little kick. I then come back to the table just to taste my sauce and make sure that I don't need to make any adjustments, but it usually goes the same way. Sesame paste, salty element, sweet element, and then a little bit of chili oil and the veggies that I mentioned. Here's the spread. We have tofu, potato, corn, broccoli, some spinach, and fried tofu skin. I usually put into my broth the root vegetables that take the longest, so that is why I added some pumpkin and potato. That first bite of food always hits the spot. I started out with Napa cabbage because I've recently fallen in love with the way that the broth cooks the leaf. It wilts a little bit but still stays crunchy, and when dipped in the sauce, it is like crack. First couple times I used to eat hot pot, I ate the food at random, but I've been trying to start the meal by eating my vegetables first because, well, duh. I was finding myself way too stuffed and not feeling like I ate enough because I would just eat a ton of noodles and potatoes and like tofu. So by doing this first, I kind of get more of a balanced meal. So after I have eaten like a metric shit ton of veggies, which mostly consists of Napa cabbage, spinach, and broccoli, I move on to eating tofu. Here we like getting the fried tofu puffs because they soak up the broth and dipping sauce so good. Like it's just flavor after flavor bombs in your mouth. This is a friendly reminder to make sure that you don't burn the shit out of your mouth, like I did right here. I promise that there is so much beauty in this mess. After like 20 minutes, the potatoes are nice and ready, and if you think you've had a good potato before, wait until you have a hot pot broth soaked potato. Like, unreal. Corn is also pretty prime. Like, I think it's my favorite thing to eat at Hot Pot, but I couldn't eat any because I have huge ass holes in my mouth because of my wisdom teeth removal. No thoughts. Head empty. Literally. My boyfriend and I barely talked this whole meal. This is one of my favorite parts about the hot pot, the fried tofu skin. Holy shit, this thing takes just a couple of seconds to soften them up, and the flavor it soaks up is like no other. It's chewy in your mouth and so good. When dipped in the sauce, it feels just like when Remy ate the strawberry and the cheese in one bite. No joke. And that's usually how it goes. A lot of veggies and all of the tofu. I'm left speechless every single time. At the very end, when I'm satisfied and full of shit, I top off my meal with some noodles. So here I'm eating the Shanghai noodles, which are my fave because they're nice and thin. They have udon noodles, but I prefer these. So I just have one serving of this and my meal is done. After we got home, we did one of our other favorite things. Played some video games. We might have had some brownies at some point. But that was it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. That was seriously so cringe. I am probably never gonna do that again.